is an emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived.
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. I did not oversleep for this.
Ooh.
Luckily, I'm sleeping pretty late lately because I've been having trouble sleeping. But yeah, we are here to talk about a company, Stardom. I haven't been watching much wrestling lately. I've been watching mainly One Piece. I've watched like 40 episodes in the past week and a half. It's not very healthy. But then again, I would have just spent that time watching wrestling if I wasn't doing that. So, who's to say?
I'm not sure what's more fruitless, watching One Piece or watching wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
watching One Piece is like a mountain that you will never climb. Like,
Hey, I'm
that's just,
getting through. I'm getting through. I've gotten to HD One Piece, which is 207 episodes in. I've
are you
gotten there.
are you
I've
doing
been
the
watching this
shortened
show.
version? I
No,
know there's
no,
like a
I'm watching the full
shortened.
thing.
Oh, okay. Because I know there's a shortened version of like
Yeah,
they cut out all the
the
filler.
the thing about One Piece, what's funny is that I just got through a filler. I'm sorry, guys, if you guys don't give a fuck, but I'm talking about it anyway. The thing about One Piece is that like I just got through a filler arc. It was like one of my favorite arcs of the entire show because it was so good. So like when it comes to like the show filler, like the arcs and the stories that are filler, those are usually kind of decent. The issue with One Piece is that like the way that they animate it and the way that they shoot it is that they like hang on one scene for like a minute and a half longer than they need to, just with like kind of like motion shots of like nothing happening, and that's where all the length comes from, right?
Mhm.
Um, but that doesn't get as bad until like a few hundred episodes in. So once it gets to that, I don't know how I'll how I'll do. But for now, I'm making my way downtown, walking fast, faces fast, and I'm homebound. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
All right. Okay. Head on over to the 5starnetwork.co for all of the latest podcasts and articles from the wonderful world of pro wrestling. I never have anything to shill. Dylan, I think you've been quiet for once, so
I'm
just head on
trying.
over.
I started writing again 2 days ago, uh, about strong style, which is a fun thing to write about. Both the faction and the philosophy, so that's fun. Um, don't expect that out anytime soon, though.
The way you
Yeah.
work, it's yeah. I mean, what have you touched the Mayu one at
No, I
all?
gave up.
That you
I gave up.
mentioned a lot. Um,
I
yeah,
loved that one, and then I just like it started to crumble, and I was like, I can't. I'm gonna hurt myself doing this. This is gonna hurt
yeah,
me a lot if I
yeah.
just
That happens.
if it just turns to shit instead of me just giving up on it. I was like, I don't want to do that.
Well, that's how Dylan works.
Yep.
It's yeah. All right. Well, there was kind of some stuff happening in Stardom over the past week. Not a lot of it on screen. Some of it was off screen. I think the biggest one is that Saya Kamitani spoke for the first time since her injury.
Mm.
She's been very quiet. Most people are just kind of waiting for the return. She did an interview with Tokyo Sports. And Tokyo Sports, it's where wrestlers tend to show their hand. It's very kayfabe, so they're always going to say certain stuff that you would say in kayfabe, but they do kind of tend to show their hand a little bit as to what's going to happen. And so I think there is some interesting stuff from this Saya interview, and there's some stuff that you should just ignore. So her saying that I consider retirement as 100% pro wrestling nonsense because she wants to be like, I considered retiring, but I fought through. Okay,
Yeah,
that
because
is all that
the
meant.
that was scary when you read it, like, on a headline, but then when you, like, read the at least auto translation of the article, it was like, I thought about retirement, but as soon as I started seeing wrestling again, I remembered how much I loved it, and I love wrestling. I love wrestling so, so much. I love wrestling. And, like, that was, like, the point of it. Because yeah,
Mhm.
that was scary when somebody just was like, "Oh my god, she almost retired." And I was like, "What the fuck do you mean?" And then you read it, and it's like, "Yeah, I might have retired if wrestling wasn't so cool." And
Yeah.
that was
So I did see a lot of people going, "Oh my god, she like considered retirement," and I was like,
which
"It's a kayfabe thing. Like she's a baby
also
face."
for Joshi wrestlers, I don't think like that's a very passive thought, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. These women like roll out of bed the wrong way, and they're like, "I think I'm gonna hang up the boots." It's like, all right,
as I've said before, Mayu was for like a month in like 2016 was just like, yeah, I'm retiring. She just told everybody she was retiring and just didn't. But just because she felt like saying she was going to retire, you know what I
hmm
mean? Like that's a very natural passing thought for Joshi wrestlers. For multiple reasons. But yeah, so it's not as huge until she
yeah.
says she's retiring. It's not that big
Yeah,
a deal.
definitely. I think the key thing is that she kind of said that like she's scared to fly. She's been studying different styles. She even dropped the hardest bar, which was I want to show people how the phoenix with a broken wing can fly. And I was like, that is worth the injury alone.
So
So
you didn't have to go through it, man.
well, yeah, but but it's I think it's very interesting. She's clearly setting stuff up here. Like I imagine the build to her first Phoenix splash post injury will be this big thing.
Mm.
Because she is gonna still do high flying, that's her thing. But she's kind of letting people down easy, kind of saying, "Hey, I'm not really fully with it yet." And I think that's obviously building to her eventually doing the Phoenix splash and getting a big reaction.
I will say, in the article she mentioned that she's been watching a lot of overseas wrestling, and that was scary. But then she said, I've also been thinking about grounding my wrestling a little bit more, which is a lot less scary. Because if she's watching Sammy Guevara tapes, don't come back. That's a joke. I'm kidding. But like really, you know what I mean? Like if you're watching American wrestling to get more flashy, that's concerning. But if she's watching like Brian Danielson, she's trying to be a little Techers girl. Don't. But you know, it's better than the alternative.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think this is entirely her like setting stuff up. I think she's very smart like
Yeah.
that. It's kind of like when Danielson is like, "Oh, everything hurts," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, so you can sell it in a match." Or Tanahashi being like, "My back hurts all the time," and then he
Oh,
sells
or
it for an
yeah,
entire tournament.
how
Like,
Matt Jackson has been selling the same back injury since 2018.
yeah, like wrestlers are a lot smarter than you think. They are here to lie to you and get you to invest through those lies. And I'm pretty sure Saya is doing that here. And if not, I mean, even if she is grounded after this, I think she'll be great because you can be grounded and still do that schoolboy power bomb. Like, just more of
Yeah.
that, more like
Honestly,
cravat
some of
kicks.
her best stuff that she's come up with has been a bit more grounded lately.
Mhm,
Not lately, but like in the past couple years. Because yeah, that Schoolboy is incredible. Um, the kicks are cool. Like that, there is definitely room for her to still be a really cool wrestler, even if she does get rid of some of the more dangerous stuff that she likes to do.
definitely. Um, I think the biggest takeaway I had from this interview, though, is based on any translation I've seen, she did not mention Tam like at all. It
She
was
did
I
just
have a
very
very
briefly.
her main point was I have a very strong sense of jealousy towards Suzu Suzuki. When I come back, I'm taking everything from her. And that is the second person in an interview over the past week who has basically completely ignored Tam and set stuff up with other people. Because Suzu did the same. She's like, "Oh yeah, Tam's reign
Mhm.
is past her expiration date. Like
I mean,
I'm gonna win
Julia
it."
also did that.
Yeah, which is really interesting because you would assume if they're still doing Tam and Saya, Saya would have built to it here, but instead she's focused on Suzu. So I don't know if that's maybe a giveaway that Suzu might beat Tam. Um, it's gonna happen. Tam hasn't been on the shows. She's not on the shows this weekend. Her knee. as we predicted last week, the day after we recorded, they were like, "Oh, by the way, Tam's knee is fecked. She's not on the shows." So
The
I
commentary
don't
team
know.
also said that their team might just be out of tag league.
Yeah.
It depends on
So
her condition.
like, I don't know if Tam will make it to the Suzu match. I don't know if she's gonna do the Suzu match, lose, and take the time off. But it seems to me like most people are building to matches with Suzu and not Tam, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because it's similar to what happened with Julia, where it's like you kind of look at a potential Suzu reign, and it's like she has so many ops. It's so easy. You know what I mean? Because everybody wants to beat up Suzu.
Hmm.
So, like, I think that there is room for that, but I also think that it's like I don't know, just the setting of it all feels very not like they would do that. But I guess maybe they see a Suzu Saya match or a Suzu Micah match or a Suzu Julia match as a bigger year end than Tam Saya, especially if Tam is like working
Yeah.
injured now. You know, if she's having uh, a hard time. Um, you never know. I don't know. It does put a little bit more like question into it, right? Like I think at
Mhm.
first everybody was pretty much like, 90-10, Tam's winning at Gold Rush. Why are we doing this? Um, I still probably favor Tam just because that's how this works. But Suzu's like creeping up. It's getting a bit more even of like who could walk away with the belt.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it seems more likely to me now that Saya won't immediately challenge for the belt when she comes back, and they might do that at the April show. And then I don't know if you have Tam hold it until the April show, or if you do a 4 month Suzu run or something. Like, they could do either, really. But it's definitely in the space of a week, they went from Tam as essentially beating Suzu to I have no idea what's going to happen, which is good. Unpredictability is good, and especially with both of them kind of making sense as winners, I don't think I'd hate either option. So I do think this Saya interview put a lot of doubt in my mind as to who's going to win between Tam and or Suzu, but I don't know if Tam is going to make the match. Obviously, we don't know as of now what her status is. Like, it doesn't look good. Basically, if she's not even, they're not even sure she's in tag league. Like, that ends a week before the match with Suzu. Like, they're not leaving it a lot of time. So very interested in that. Um, and I think that's all from the Saya Suzu aspects. I don't think there was much else from Saya Kamitani that she really said. Um, So the other kind of interesting thing was they announced the matches for the Thailand Expo. So this is
Mhm.
on the 21st and 22nd of October. So there's four different matches basically, or five, sorry, five different matches and a performance. So I'm going to get into this performance, don't you worry. The first match is Siri versus Waka Tsukiyama in a first round tournament match. We then have Mina Shirakawa and Yuna Mizumori also in a first round tournament match. Then we have a setup offer match between Jeney and Matcha. Most people know Matcha as Tepla from Twitter. She used to do the drawings. And then there's people who don't know the Tepla saga because
Yeah,
she was like well known for doing these like really cute drawings of the wrestlers. And then one day it was like, oh, by the way, I'm a wrestler in Thailand. And everybody's like, holy shit, what?
and
Um,
in Gato move. Like she
yes,
like that like she's like, yeah, Emi Sakura trained me. Everybody's like, wait, what the fuck?
yeah, it was
Oh.
crazy. So
She still
she's
does a lot of art. I'm pretty sure she's made Emi Sakura's gear and Will Ospreay's gear, and like she's
oh, okay,
like designed it, not made it, but has done. She's designed like most of Osprey's shit for like years.
yeah.
So
She
yeah,
she made Mariah May's newest shirt design as well. She drew it,
yeah, yeah.
so she's very involved in
Very
pro
talented.
wrestling. Yeah,
Yeah, very talented. I haven't seen her wrestle. Not in years at least. I think I saw one match of hers a couple years ago, but like haven't seen her wrestle in years. But she's a very great artist, and I hope that she's good in the ring because
yeah.
this is cool.
So Jenny is the interesting one because they're letting Jenny perform. Before the main
Mm,
event, her idol group is performing. They're rolling out the red carpet for Jenny, and I think they are bending over backwards to sign her up because Mina said after the Goddess match, she said, "I'm going to Thailand. I'm going to train. I'm going to recruit for Club Venus. And if it isn't Jenny, I would be horrendously shocked because I saw this woman. She was at the Stardom offices the other day. She's been training all around Japan. She was in Gato Move as well. If they are not trying to sign this woman, I would be shocked. Like I took one look at her and I went, that is a Rossi signing. Like that is Rossi to the core. She's an idol and everything. They follow her idol group. They're that desperate to get her in the door. So
Oh, wait, that's her. Oh, yeah, she's definitely joining.
yeah. Yeah.
Because I saw the matchup picture, right? And I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, yeah, she definitely has, like, a vibe." But then I realized that I've seen her on Twitter before, like, just around. Uh, and yeah, she's definitely joining.
Yeah, like if like if they're gonna expand into Thailand, there's no better way than getting an idol from Thailand to spearhead it. Now I don't know if she's gonna sign because she is with Setup and she is with an idol group, so I don't know how that will work. But I feel
Mhm.
like they're gonna try their best to get her as much as they can. Because as
At least
soon
for, like,
as
New Blood shows.
oh definitely yeah, like as soon as I saw her, I went that is a Rossi signing. Like that man is doing concrete bumps to get her to sign, like no doubt about it. So I'm kind of interested in Jenny and Matcha match, and I'm thinking afterwards, like whoever wins will get offered a spot in Club Venus or something. Because yeah, Mina did say I'm going to Thailand and I'm going to recruit for the group. So
Yeah. She also was kinda joke like, "Oh, I'm gonna become a Thai fighter." I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be dope. Do that. Do some Muay
yeah,
Thai." I'm rocking with it.
I also do have on good authority that Jenny is green, but she slays, and I think that's the best type of prospect to get. Like if you can slay, we can go along with the rest. Like the rest can come
This is
later.
why you were so early to Mariah May. It's because she was
Yes,
kinda green,
yeah.
but she slayed, and here we are.
It has not failed me yet. I have been right.
Have you seen her filler arc? I know it's a very nerd way for me to put it, but, like, it shows randomly post on Twitter, like, "Yeah, I got stranded in the middle of the night and hung out with a fox." What are you doing, homegirl? Are you okay?"
She's just
So
living. She's having a time
yeah,
of her life.
I was just, like, amazed. I was like, this, like, in between part where, like, she's not wrestling in Stardom, but she's not wrestling wherever she's gonna go, um, is just very funny. She's randomly is like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, this crazy ass thing that doesn't happen to people happened to me today." I was like, "Okay, homegirl, we miss you. Hope you're okay."
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure she's fine. She's having a good time. The other matches on this Thai show are there's a third place match for the tournament and then the final. So I imagine they're running back Mina versus Siri. Yeah, Siri probably beats Mina again. So that's fun. I imagine this was originally going to be a Meltier match they were going to do because it was meant to be um, Tam, Natsupoi, Waka, and Unimon, and Siri and Mina were drafted in to replace Meltier. So I assume this was meant to be a Meltier match before they changed it.
Hmm.
So it's probably Siri,
Yeah.
which is great fun because I have to watch Mina lose again. But it's going to be interesting. There's
Homegirl's on
going to be
another
some
level. What you
news.
know about it?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, there'll probably be some news coming out of that. I think there should be something interesting with this Jenny girl.
The
Um,
return of the SWA title?
I mean, why not? We need it back at this stage. Um, Stardom also announced that on the Edion Arena show on November 18th. This is Stardom Gold Rush. This is the Tam Suzu show. There's going to be a mixed martial arts UWF rules match between Siri and the Scandinavian Hurricane, which is the Stardom name for Aliss Ink. So I've been talking about Aliss Ink for a while. I was like, hell yeah, she'd go crazy in Stardom. When she showed up, people were tagging me, and I was like, hell yeah, I finally won.
They
Uh,
didn't say her name. That was the
they
funniest
didn't.
part.
No,
It's
she's a
because she looked
Scandinavian
familiar.
Hurricane now. She's
She
not
looked
Aliss Ink.
familiar, but I was like, Nobody's helping me here."
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was so funny.
Um. So that was a big win for me. If you don't know Alice Inc., which is totally fair, there's a lot of matches of hers on YouTube. The European promotions put up a lot of matches for free. She has one with Emerson Jane that's probably worth watching because I think
She's a
Emerson Jane is good.
WXW regular, right?
Yeah, but I think WXW is bad, so I
Well,
won't recommend that. But she has a match with Emerson Jane that's on YouTube for like free from the promotion that ran it. And I think Emerson Jane is good, so it's probably the best opponent to see her against. Um, for anybody who hasn't seen Alice Inc., it's kind of like Tommy End, specifically Tommy End, like Malachi Black is kind of different to Tommy End in how he
mhm.
wrestles. It's very Tommy End coded, like a lot of very realistic strikes
You
mixed with
know,
the pro wrestling pace.
I wasn't crazy about Tommy End on the indies, but I think like a female Tommy End is probably killer. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. That sounds
Um.
pretty cool.
So Stardom kind of gave away the Alice Inc. thing because they've followed her on social media for a while,
I followed a couple other
which
people, as far as I'm aware.
yes, and I have that list right here. So they follow Ivy Malibu, Brooke Havoc, Ashley Dambois, and Hyan.
Mm.
And obviously Hyan is wrestling Julia. So I asked around about Brooke Havoc. I have a friend who trained in the Nightmare Factory, and he couldn't say yes, but he didn't say no, which kind of leads me to believe there's smoke to the fire of Brooke Havoc maybe going to do a
I,
Stardom
I
tour.
would I would believe Brooke Havoc going.
Yeah, definitely. She's very much like a good worker, so I think she'd be perfect for the Japan
If
run.
anybody was grinding through those those pandemic era AEW shows, Brooke Havoc is the girl who like Cody personally trained and like
Hmm.
gave a code of stamp of approval on and got her a debut match on AEW TV and shit. Uh, and yeah, as far as I've seen, she's gotten better from there. So I hope she's in.
Yeah.
Um, don't
Um,
know when though.
Yeah, I have no idea. This same person did bring up Ivy Malibu. They said she's really good. So I've never seen her, but if this guy says that this is a good wrestler, then I imagine Ivy Malibu is good.
I
Who
haven't
knows?
seen her either, but I also feel like I remember seeing that she was taking bookings for 2024, like
Yeah.
for like the first half. So that's a bit more far out if she is coming in. Because I remember somebody brought her up a minute ago, and I
Hmm.
looked it up, and like this was a few weeks ago. So I don't know if that changes or whatever. I feel like that's a bit more of a commitment for the
Yeah.
first few months of the year. So I don't know if she comes in sometime next year, if she's doing some American dates against Stardom wrestlers, but that's as much as I know about her.
Yeah. All I know is I was told that she was good and one to look out for. And Ashley Dambois, most people know her from AEW. I think she's worked another promotion since. Maybe it might have been just been Ring of Honor. I like Dambois. I think she's like a good prospect. She's trained by the guy who trained Deonna Purrazzo, which I think is a good sign. Like that you've got some good wrestlers coming out of that guy's tutelage, basically. And I think she has the kind of background that really works for wrestling. So I'd be interested in a run from her in Stardom because I think she's another one that American promotions will eventually be like, oh, we should have signed her a long time ago.
Yeah. I for a second I thought you were because I was misremembering. I thought Deonna Purrazzo trained under Lance Storm. I thought you were big leaguing Lance Storm. I was like, really, just the guy? But okay, yeah, it's not Lance Storm.
No,
Somebody else.
it's like Tyler Adams or something. I
Yeah.
cannot remember his name for the life of me, but I know he's a good trainer. Like that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know why,
Um,
but I thought that she trained on Lance Storm. I was like, you're really big leaguing Lance Storm right now. But yeah, I mean, fans of this show will remember that I thought that Ashley Dubois and Megan Bain were the same person, even though they're very, very different people. Um,
yes.
but who's to say?
Okay, Deanna. It says she's trained by Rip Rogers, but I don't think that's true.
She's definitely. I don't know.
He trained Megan Bain. Deanna Peraza. I could probably fall down this for a long time, but I know there was some correlation between Dambois and somebody who trains good wrestlers, and so I was like, hell yeah, she's cool. But anyway, that is some people to maybe look out for in the Stardom sphere going forward.
Damian Adams,
Damian Adams, that's him. Yeah, he trains some real hoopers from what I've seen. So
uh, Tiara James, Elektra Lopez, Wendy Chu. Those are the famous ones.
I mean, Wendy is
And,
good,
oh,
right?
And Megan Bain. Yeah,
All right. Okay. Yeah. So you see, he's got some good ones, and I think he helped with Diana post WWE maybe. But
I believe it.
yeah. So that's all the news I want to say that we won't cover anyway. Um, as it was kind of a busy enough week from Stardom. But yeah, I think that's everything. So we can just get on to the review section now. We had
First, I must hijack the show very briefly, because I told a friend of the show who I will not name, as you will get mad at him, but I think you'll probably guess who it was, that I would briefly bring up Takuya Nomura versus Fuminari Abe because that shit ruled. It was
was this
killer.
Xavier
No, no, it
the Scott?
no. Damn,
Oh,
it was Sandre. What?
oh,
Sorry, sorry,
really?
Sandre. Yeah, he texted me and was like, "Hey, you should bring it up because I know Alex said it was fine, which means that it's good if it's a male wrestling match." So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was great. I mean, I know it's not Joshi, I know nobody cares, but that match was so fucking good. It was like 15 minutes. It was probably it was one of the two best knockout submission matches of the year, up there with Shuri and Hashimoto. Uh, it, it was really good. Probably best independent match of the year. Maybe not because of recent Nakajima and Sauri's independent, but still, it's up there. I know it sounds like I'm shitting on it, but it was really good. And I think everybody should go watch it because it was very fun. Imagine me and Alex just beating the fuck out of each other because we're besties. Um, but we were also like the wrestlers we wish we were. You know what I mean? Like if me and Alex
Oh,
wanted to be
yeah,
wrestlers and were
yeah.
wrestlers, we would be astronauts and we would kill each other in the exact
Mhm.
same way that astronauts did on that match. So yeah, that was very good. Go check that
Yeah,
out. Fun Wrestling Universe.
I am very Takuya Nomura coded. I think
Yeah,
that's
see, I'm
yeah,
I'm I'm straight up. If I was a wrestler, I would want to be Fuminori Abe. So like it's
yeah.
just that's how we are. Yeah, go check that out. It's a really great Puro match. Even if you aren't a big Puro guy, I would say it's at least worth the watch. Alex, I don't
Yeah.
know if you would agree, but it's at least worth the watch.
Well, I think at worst you're gonna think it's all right. I mean, I tend to not like a lot of Puro. I think Puro at its core is like really boring. Um, but I thought it was like fine. But it was also up to a certain point. I thought it was a good match, and then they just tried to like have their cake and eat it too. And I was like, okay, you could have ended this, and I'd have said you'd had a very good match. But then it was like, okay, yeah, that's all right. By the time it
I will
ended,
say it's wild that Abe didn't just win with I think he got an octopus on or a manji or something. I don't know. He got a
yeah,
submission on it, and I was like, oh yeah, that should be the finish. And then Nomura reversed it, and then they did a couple more moves, and then they ended it. I was like, you could have just cut out the last two moves, really.
yeah,
Like something as small as that. But no, I thought it was a great match. Alex is a negative Nancy when it comes to Puro, so he also thinks him saying it was all right is a sign of admiration. Usually, when it comes to
yeah.
these
When
matches.
I said in Discord that it was all right, somebody was like, "Oh, that makes it a top five Puro match of the year." I was
Yeah,
like, "All
yeah,
right,
exactly.
thanks. That's great. My words carry this much weight. I like it." So yeah, um, that was the non Joshi part.
Yeah.
Um, back to sadly the Joshi. We had an October 14th Stardom Saitama tournament. Sidon Chemical
The fuck?
Arena, Saitama Subarena. That is how you know the house shows are back. The Chemical Arena in front of 273 fans.
The chemical goes slow, Alex. The chemical
Yeah,
goes slow.
that is a great reference that like if you don't get, I'm really upset with you. So yeah, just know I would be disappointed in you if you don't get the reference. Like that's it. I like disappointed.
Big Tegan Knox
Um,
fan, Alex is. Um,
yeah, yeah, for sure. Fucking
that's
Nixon
a reference
Newell.
that even less people will know.
Yeah, she's
Oh man,
she's interesting. She's an interesting
well played.
person, that Tegan Knox. Anyway, we had Koguma beating Fukigen Death with a roll up. I didn't
I
actually watch
watched
this.
this. I
I didn't
watched this.
internalize that it was Koguma and Fukigen Death for some reason, and now I'm like, why didn't I watch this? Like, this is two
It was
cokeheads.
it was funnier than like I I guess people would give it credit. Like I don't know, it's just a funny little match. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah,
Koguma really does do the bare necessities around here, and I love it for her. Um, I thought that like the shtick was good, right? Like
Hmm.
that's the thing with Fukigen death matches is that it's like sometimes it's like, oh, I've seen this before. I've seen this match before, but it was a little funny. So I gotta give it props. It wasn't great or good or anything, but it was a fun little match.
All right. The match after that was Mina Shirakawa beating Hanako in 8.5 minutes with a figure four leg lock. This was fine. It was all right.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna watch
Yeah.
that.
Okay, that's fair. We had Hazuki and Mai Iwatani beating Miyu Amasaki and Lady C. Hazuki got the win over Lady C with a senton in 7.5 minutes. Um, this was good, I guess. It was, there was some good parts.
This was solid.
Yeah.
I thought it was decent. I think Lady C and Miyu did a lot more like smart moves in this than you kind of
Mm.
expect from Lady C and Miyu. Uh, from like the sell, Lady C and Mayu did the sell after the big spin. They both sold it beautifully, and I thought it was super well done. Like Lady C did the spin, and then she stopped, and then she went over to tag Miyu, and then she just like flopped to the ground because she was dizzy. And I thought that was like so funny, even though it was just like a spot that nobody else really gives a fuck about because it was just something very small. But I just thought that there were just certain almost character moments and certain aspects of Lady C and Miyu's stuff that was quite well done, considering that they're Lady C and Miyu Amasaki.
Uh, I
And
mean, Miyu Amasaki is kind of good now.
yeah,
I don't
no,
know if
yeah,
I
you're
don't know
right.
if you've noticed. She was yelling here. I never ever used to see her yell to like do the fighting spirit stuff. I don't know how new this is, but I noticed it. She was like screaming, and I was like, "Holy shit, she's doing stuff."
It
Um,
took a little bit to go into effect, but that passion was injected, my man.
Yeah. So I mean, she's on her way to being a real wrestler finally. Because yeah, I thought she was good in the New Blood main event a few weeks ago, and
Yeah.
there was just so much happening. I kind of forgot to mention it, but she's like clearly a lot better than she used to be. So yeah, here I was like, wow, she's like a proper wrestler now. That's
That
crazy.
Anu match
So
really did flip the switch.
did honestly, yeah, because that
Because
was
like the
that was a
Shuri
great
match a
one.
few months earlier was really good, but then she had a couple, and then that Anu match really was like the day.
Hmm. Yeah, so fair play to Kevin. It made me miss Aya Sakura because she's still not around. And I'm like, man, wait,
I don't even see her seconding much.
yeah. Like,
I've been seeing
can you
Komomo Minami
imagine
more.
what that GP tour would have done for Aya Sakura? She would have come out of that like
Oh yeah.
hooping, like crazy. But we must wait. The match after that anyway was Megan Bay and Mei Seira and Suzuki beating Momo Watanabe, Rocca, and Natsuko Tora. Megan Bay won in 8 minutes and 40 seconds with the neck hanging bomb. The visual of Megan Bain and the GP winner coming out to May Sarah's music was so funny, and I have no idea why. Like, I
That's the
just thought it was
champ.
amazing. Um, and I am here for Megan Bain hot tag season. They are now just sticking her in the corner until the hot tag, and she is killing it, and it's great. It was obviously more evident on the show the day after, but they did it again here. Um, at one point, Momo kicked May Sarah so hard that she like bounced into the corner, and I was like, "Hell yeah, we're back!" Like,
Miss
let's
Sarah is
go.
such a good seller.
She is, yeah. Her
Yeah.
her work with Tora and Momo, I was like, "This is exactly what you should be doing against Wada Tai. Just beat up the small one." Like
See,
it
yeah, I
worked.
mean, I probably could have watched this one, but I usually have if I'm deciding on whether or not to watch an Oedo Tai house show tag match, I usually go with the no. Um,
Yeah,
but this looked better than like a lot of the alternative combinations it could have been. So
that's
could have
true.
been interesting.
The main event of the show was Mai Sakurai, Tekla, Maika, and Julia beating Saki Kashima, Amisore, Mirai, and Siri. Mai Sakurai got the win over Saki with a diving elbow drop in 13.5 minutes. I saw this and went, "This is a house show 4-on-4 tag. I do not need to see this at all."
Yeah. I also
Um,
just I don't want to watch my Sakurai. I'm gonna be real.
I feel like you're in for a bad time because they are clearly pushing this
Yeah.
woman. Like there is they are
Yeah.
getting behind her. But yeah, she got the win there. DDM was a united front for like the first time ever. So that was nice.
It's funny
Um,
how like, a week ago it was completely destroyed and then they're like, Susan's not around, we're cool. It's like I don't think
yeah,
that's how stories work, but okay. Let's keep going.
There was still some tension because afterwards everybody was like, "Well, we're gonna win tag league," and I was like, "No, we're gonna win tag league," and Micah said, "No, me and Megan are gonna win tag league." So still some tension there between the four of them, but this was Super Donna Del Mondo getting the win before they all fall apart for the tag tournament. Um, and yeah, I think that was all from that show. I think we can dig more into some of the interesting stuff. For the Goddess show because a lot of the
Yeah.
same carries over. To be honest with you, it's a lot of the same people to kind of spotlight. Um, because this was on the 15th of October. This was the Tag League opening day at Ota Ward Gymnasium. It bombed and got an 813 fans. So no Azumi, no Tam, no Utami, no Saya, no Natsupoi, no Komomo, no Ayasakura, no other Komomo, and people did not show up because yeah, Azumi was getting rested for this weekend. She seems to be back. Well, she wrestled today and
Well,
she's
no.
rested this weekend.
Is she working on the weekend?
Yeah, she's on the second show. She's not on the Corkin,
Oh,
but
okay.
she's on the other
Okay.
show. At least that's from what I remember seeing. She was. So I think she was just getting rested. She seemed fine to me. But yeah,
Okay, yeah,
Tam.
she is on this show. She's against
Yeah,
FWC. So
yeah. It's
make
Tam
it
the one that
make it
everybody
hurt
has
again.
to look at. Who knows? So yeah, this 813 has caused a lot of
Hot
discussion.
takes.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't care,
it's
man. It was a
yeah.
bad show. No, there were good matches on it, but it was a
Nobody
bad
like
show.
I'm pretty sure even Bake didn't stream this. Like no,
No, they did.
there was no Discord watch parties. There was no
Yeah.
people talking about this show. It happened, and it might as well have been the Seedling show that nobody bought from a week ago. Like
I forgot that happened.
a Seedling show happened 8 days ago with a Sari match, and literally not one person has told me anything about it. Not it has not been mentioned in Discords. It has not been mentioned on Twitter. Nobody paid for that
You know,
show. Nobody
that
watched it.
is an interesting thing about Stardom is that whenever a show goes up, you usually find like a couple gifs here and there on Twitter, usually, from like Peps or from, somebody. There was just no gifs of that Saitama
No.
show. And I was like, "Oh, damn.
Yeah. Like
Nobody
I
gives
think
a fuck."
people are just burned out, honestly. Like we had a long tournament. We've had two pay-per-views a month. It's like people are just like, I don't like it's not an amazing show. So it's whatever. So I think the general fatigue around it just spread to the audience who then were like, I'm not going to Ota Ward. I can just watch this on TV. Because you have to remember, these shows air on TV in Japan, live as they happen. So
And
I go,
also, uh the other part of it is that it's in Tokyo.
yeah,
So there's going to be another better show in Tokyo this
yeah,
weekend. Like on paper, this Korakuen show that's coming up is a lot better.
uh,
Suriadu's on that show. Like it's a better show.
mhm. So yeah, I think this is a bad number. I mean, only because last year for the Goddess opener they did 2,000. So down to 800 is a pretty drastic drop off.
Mm.
But it's certainly not like the end of the world. They did just do their best GP number ever for the GP final. They like set a record for the Yokohama Budokan that was broke the very next day by the Crush Gals, but that is the Crush Gals. So yeah, so there's a lot you could take away from that attendance, but I think
I
it's overall
go ahead.
they're still fine.
I do think there is uh, a discussion to be had about how putting a break in between the 5 star and the next stuff that happens would benefit Stardom
Hmm.
just monetarily. Because I think that like the local fans, if they went to the 5 star final, why would they want to go to this show? It's 2 weeks later, not as interesting. It's like really like I think if you took a few weeks, if you gave them a couple weeks off, then did a pay per view, and then did the the goddess even, um, I think that just like people would be like more ready to come back to Stardom, right? That's why Destruction Tour gets decent numbers. Is because it's like, oh well, the G1's over, and then you get a few weeks to like kind of like simmer, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready for more New Japan. Like that's how I was, and I'm not even like a religious New Japan watcher, but like after a few weeks, I was like, I'm ready for some more. I want to see some more. Then they gave me Tongaloa, and I said, never mind. But still, like, no joke. I think that that's probably a smart thing to do. And we've talked about this a million times, but even just from a monetary standpoint, I think this number tells you maybe don't pack this shit up so much and people will get less fatigued, both monetarily and just viewer wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, this was the third pay-per-view in like 20 days or something like that. Like
Three
when was
weeks.
the
I mean, it was
yeah,
3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row. Like it's a lot of anybody. So yeah, I can see why this just like sunk like a lead balloon. In all honesty. Um, but anyway, on to the show. We had in a pre-show match, Rocca beat Unimon in 6 minutes with a freezer bomb.
It's had a couple cool
Cool.
Haas spots in it.
Yeah,
Um, about what you'd expect otherwise. Shouts out
yeah.
Ruaka. Happy she won. She needs
The
these
match.
wins.
She does, she does. The actual opener of the show then was Mai Sakurai and Tekla beating Miyu Amasaki and Mirai. Um, Mai Sakurai won with the ladies' clutch in 7.5 minutes over Miyu
It
Amasaki.
didn't. That's just a pin. She just sits on you. Like she didn't do the.
Oh, this was the really funny one where she like got a was it a Kirifuda? No, it's not a Kirifuda, but she does like the leg trap pin and she like locked it in for about 8 seconds before the referee realized it was a
Yeah,
because he was just like standing there and she was like pin it like I
I
got
know.
it.
I was like, Miyu is getting disrespected right now. Save my homie Kevin from my Sakurai pinning
Yeah,
her for 10 seconds.
yeah,
Um,
poor girl.
I went upstairs to get coffee during this match. Um, so the only thing I saw from it outside of like the closing stretch was my Sakurai throwing a stack in Mirai's face.
Yeah.
It was very funny. That was very funny. I'll give her that. That was very funny.
See, I feel like they're priming my Sakurai for some big stuff because she gets this like big fancy robe. They played her music over Tekla's. She has the money spot now, and she got the pin in both matches since coming back fully. So I don't really know where the end goal is with my Sakurai, but they're clearly getting behind her with something in mind. I don't know what that is, but I think you might be seeing a big Mai Sakurai match sooner rather than later on a pay-per-view.
Oh man, they're beating fucking Mayu and Hanan, aren't they? Like I'm looking at this league table.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If
Oh
she's beating
man.
Hanan, they like the Mai Sakurai, man. It's what can I say? Um so yeah, that was a decent enough match anyway, but yeah, Mai Sakurai was kind of the real story of it.
Oh.
The match after that was Julia beating Michiko in 10
Do we
minutes
gotta
with a
talk about
Northern
this?
Lights bomb. I mean, I guess what was it? What was the point? Julia just
No,
won.
that's the thing.
Julia just
Like,
beat her ass. Didn't get out of second gear. Didn't give a shit. By the way, like this was half effort Julia if I've ever seen it. She was not trying. Just did all the bits. The same table spot we've seen over and over again. Michiko threw some of the worst forearms I've seen in a
okay,
long,
yeah.
long time. And then it was just over. Julia just beat her, and I was like, "Oh, sure."
Okay, but outside of the first two, because the match started with the forearms. Outside of those first two forearms, from that third forearm on, uh, Miyagi did good spots. Like every spot that she did, either she hit well and it looked killer, or she took well and she sold it like a champ. Why? Why were we here? Like, I really like Michiko. I've been defending her honor for like a week, even though she's kind of psychotic. Um, I, why? Like they decided that it's like remember when we like buried you on your way out when you were leaving? How about we just bring you back to do a little bit more of that? Wouldn't that be fun? And then because she works late, she's like, "Bro, I will wrestle anybody. Please, please give me anybody to wrestle ever." And then Julia's like, "Okay, now never come back, you fucking pussy. Leave." I'm just like, "What the
Mm.
fuck?" Like, I don't know. And I like I've said, I've been arguing with you and Velke about Michiko being a good wrestler, but oh, there's definitely better uses for her than fucking this. Because
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
uh,
This match
I
was
don't know.
crazy to
I
me.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't understand what the point was.
Like,
Were
part of
you
me
that
thought, oh,
desperate?
maybe she'll like come in and help Prominence later, and maybe she'll be like Prominence's second, right? and that keeps her around because like it felt like this match was like almost too disrespectful to where it's like, okay, Michiko's got to get her heat back somewhere, right? Eventually, and then no, that just no, that's not what they're doing. She's just gone. Julia said sayonara instead of matane, so
Yeah. Well, Michiko is still making like vague threats. So I'll make you regret everything that happened here. But I don't
did you
know.
see a reporter called her stale and she started going fucking crazy on Twitter?
No way.
Hasi, you know Hasi?
Michiko?
Yeah,
Oh, that's gas. Yeah, yeah, I
ha-
know him.
Hasi tweeted like, "Why did you say the same thing in your after the match on Twitter and in your backstage promo? Like, do something different." And Michiko's like, "You're really fucking tacky. You know that? Who the fuck says that? Fuck you." And I'm just like, "Oh my god." Oh my god, she's going ape shit. Yeah, so love Michiko.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We will have to wait and see. Maybe.
She also the craziest part was that she did a tombstone, which is like it's not her finish, but it's like her finish. It's like her number 2 or 3. She did tombstone on a steel chair, and Julie just kicked out, got up, and beat her.
Yeah.
I
Like
don't know,
I
man.
don't know where Michiko can go from here. Like her comments seem to indicate that they will do something, but unless she gets back up, you've lost. Like you got beat. You got beat worse than Risa Serra, and that's saying a lot.
I
Um,
know Risa, Sarah, and you got like 3 hours against Julia, and this match was like it felt like 4, even though it was 10. It felt like
yeah,
4 minutes of
yeah.
actual substance.
So
Insane.
I don't know.
Uh,
Maybe they're waiting for Julia to like drop the strong belt, and then they'll kick it into gear. Maybe
I
Julia
also
will
think
face
this might
the
have been a
what?
Halloween show match, but then they
Oh,
remembered, oh yeah, Julia can't be on the Halloween show, and they were
uh,
just like, ah, just
maybe.
stick it somewhere else. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, maybe that might have been something. But you know what? It happened. Julia won. We ball. So after that, we
At
got
some
into the good
point,
stuff.
and this is like you always bring it up about ice lore, but at some point, we're gonna have a discussion about Julia's monster of the week situation with outsiders
Well,
because
I
it's
blame that
kind
on
of
the strong
crazy.
belt because she wasn't meant to have that. So now they're throwing together matches that weren't meant to happen. Um,
But this wasn't for the strong belt, Alex.
and I know, but like the U match and the Risa Sarah match probably weren't meant to happen either. So I don't I feel like that was just them going, oh well, we have to do something
But
with this
even the
belt,
Maya
but
Yukiki match,
I
where
don't know.
like that was good, but that was also like a draw that Mayuki never came back.
But yeah, but
Which I
you're
get
not
the
putting an
reason.
outsider over Julia.
And
There's
I
no
but
point.
that's the problem. Is that it's like there's no
Well, she's losing
stakes.
to money. She's losing to Mercedes. You have to keep her strong for Mercedes.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I think Ruaka should beat Mercedes.
I mean, sure, I guess.
Why not?
Anyway, we had the opening ceremony for the Goddess of Stardom Tag League,
This
and
was
during
sick.
it, Prominence just started to beat the brakes off of Suzu and May, so they all agreed they would be the first match of the tournament. They were just going to go and wrestle right then and there, and they had a great match. I thought this was
I will say I
fantastic.
think that this it was interesting because I think this probably would have been better flow wise. Excuse me, if it did just go semi main, which it was supposed to. But yeah, the match was really good. I don't know why I'm
Yeah,
burping so much. I'm sorry.
no idea.
Excuse me.
I thought this was the best Risa Sarah has looked in a Stardom ring. Like she was into it. Like this was that Twitter meme of like the rent was due, there was no money left in the bank, mortgage was piling up. He had one shot to deliver, and they dropped an all timer. This was Rita Sarah, so she was just like,
Oh no, I think you're
I
forgetting
have
the
my
tri
shot
oh,
here."
wait, she didn't do shit in the Triangle Derby. That was
Yeah,
all Kurumi
yeah.
and Suzu. Yeah,
So you
this was really good.
Yeah, so you have Kurumi being great, and you have Risa Sarah actually motivated to beat the shit out of Suzu, and you have a recipe for a great match, and that's kind of what we got here. This was just fantastic. It ended in a 15-minute draw, which kind of makes sense. And yeah, I thought it was very enjoyable. So
Yeah, that was great. It was
Kurumi
kind of
rock,
like teetering.
by the way, just. pretty
Oh yeah,
rough.
I mean that's always the highlight of prominence in Stardom as a team, at least. Like I think even when Suzu was around, when she was in team stuff and Kurumi was also in there, like Kurumi was always kind of like stealing the show because everybody expects great stuff from Suzu. Everybody expects and sometimes don't get great stuff from Risa Sarah, but Kurumi is the one that like nobody really remembers until she just has the best performance on the show, and that's what happened here. Um, she like popped the commentators at one point because she just did something like so cool. I think she did like a flipping senton, like she just ran and did the running swanton, and the commentators just like yelled. They're like, "Holy shit!" Yeah, 'cause she's great. Like she's just great. Her and Suzu, sorry, had a great closing stuff. Um, yeah, this was super fun. I think Risa and Suzu is a match that they should probably like do at some point in Stardom.
Yeah.
Because it felt like that was like a build to something, but I don't know when they plan on doing that as a singles. Because I don't think, I mean, unless Suzu gets the belt, another one of her ops can challenge for it.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, we'll see. I really like this. I think Suzu and Meisera are going to have a great tournament. I think Kurumi is especially going to have a great tournament, and I think Risa Sarah is up to the plate, as you said, that she will be very good. I'm excited for for Kurumi to be like the MVP of like her third tournament this year. She was one of the
Honestly,
best to
yeah,
catch the wave
dude,
too.
she's like
Uh,
I would have signed her along with Suzu if I had the chance. Like I'm, you know me, I'm very high on Kurumi. I think
Especially
she
because
could
Kurumi
be.
doesn't really do death matches that much.
Yeah,
Like she's
yeah.
not.
I
It's
don't
not
know
like
what she
she's
does
like
there.
she's loyal to her friends at prominence, but it's not like her style is like, oh yeah, I am prominence through and through because I do death match. She doesn't really even do many death matches. So
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know. Yeah,
I would have signed her up if I would. Well, obviously, I just think she's great. I would pick her up. But yeah, she's I feel like you could put something behind her and she would just be unstoppable. Like she's one of
yeah.
those where if she was signed somewhere and pushed, it would just be so much better. Um,
I mean, I've been
so yeah,
saying she should beat literally anybody for about anywhere.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Like give her the wave belt. Give her. I tweeted in the heat of the moment because she was so good in this match that she should beat Suzu for the red belt, and
yeah. Why
I'll
not?
stand
Let's
by
go.
that. Why not? Like I
Let's
mean,
go. Let's do it.
she's great.
I have no issues. Um, Next match anyway was a Red Goddess block match. It was Waka Tsukiyama and Mina Shirakawa beating Hanako and Saya Ida in 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Mina got the win with an implant DDT over Hanako. Um, it says implant DDT, but it was kind of a butchered attempt at a co-op DDT. Like her and
No,
Waka were meant to do
so
it.
she did a terrible tag finish, and then she got her back up and did it again because she
Yeah.
realized it was terrible.
So they kind of messed it up there. I thought
Yeah,
this was I had a good time with this. I thought there was some really good bits. Probably could have done with a bit more Ida, but we can always do with a bit more Ida.
yeah.
Um,
Ida's on a fucking run right now.
yeah, but
I
there
do
was a
think
cool bit.
I think Waka and Ida are cool. Like they have a cool little mini rivalry where like Ida's like, I refuse to let you beat me. Uh, and that's just kind of like the idea. I thought that was cool, but yeah, I agree. They didn't really stick with that enough. I think this match told me that they both teams have room to have a good tournament. I didn't think this match was good, but I think that like I saw elements of like, okay, they aren't going to be bad either team, especially min max. I think Hanako, despite still being kind of physically awkward in certain places, um, her match flows a lot better and it works really well with Ida. So I'm excited for like some of their better matches in this tournament. Um, yeah, I didn't think this was anything too good, but it was decent. I'm excited for to see how both teams kind of show up from here on out.
Yeah, yeah. No, they'll definitely both have like better matches down the line. It was after this match then that Mina talked about going to Thailand and recruiting for Club Venus. Waka also mentioned that she's going to have a teammate for the New Blood tag match. So, um, Mina specifically said the second story of Club Venus. So it seems like they're going into a new arc of Club Venus with some new members, which is kind of neat.
But I have to because
That's true. Yeah.
but yeah, that's exciting. I,
Um,
I am excited
yeah.
to see some new blood around.
So, the next match on the show was a Blue Goddess block match. It was the Divine Kingdom it was their name. Megan Bain and Micah beating Amisore and Lady C. Megan Bain got the win over Lady C in 6.5 minutes with an F5. Uh,
Yes. Oh,
when I
also,
say,
Lady C and Ami are the Rewa Sky Towers because I've been the Rewa because I've been trying to figure out what the fuck their name was for like weeks, and then I, you know, Pedro, shouts out Pedro. He was like, oh, I think it's that. I was like, you're right. I'm an idiot. So yeah,
yeah, they had the tower in their Tron for the
yeah,
match.
it became very obvious by the time
Yeah.
they were wrestling.
Yeah. So but yeah, this was Megan Bain hot tag season. Like Micah got the hot tag to her and she hit the Daniel Bryan running knee and I was like, I have transcended. She was throwing both women around. It was exactly what you want the hot tag to be, right? Like just a big bastard throwing people around, beating them up. It was perfect. This is such a great use of Megan Bain. Yeah, her and Micah work so well together. Like I'm disappointed if what you said is true and she is going to be leaving come the new year because I need her and Micah as like a Haas tag team at the top of the division so badly.
Yeah, that was cool. I think their Doomsday device is so sick. Like it's just
Yes.
nasty.
Oh, it's
Um,
great.
Micah, because Micah has a headpiece now to match Megan's. She looks like Queen Amidala in Episode 1 of Star Wars, and I think I think it's a cool look. Because she's a little bit more pale than she was over the summer, and so like just the whole vibe, it just looks very uh Padme-esque. And I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I thought it was like a solid match. I thought Lady C did well. She's been having good performances, but it was mainly just her getting killed. So you know, her gear is also pretty cool. Shouts out.
Yeah, her gear is like I
It's a
don't
very
like
controversial gear.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I can see why people do. Um,
I think it's neat.
yeah. See, I feel like if you're just a horny person, it's good
You don't
gear,
gotta.
and
You
if
don't
you're a
gotta.
fashion person, you're like, nah, dog, like, reinvent the wheel here. So you know what? Go for it. Honestly, both
I gotta.
audiences are equally valid. Like, there's nothing wrong with either source here. So that was Lady C. I do agree with you, Mike. I like Micah's new kind of vibe. I think every few months she just like adds something or changes something and gets like slightly better as she's nearing her full form. So I'm very interested in Micah because I think she's got something, especially lately. So I'm here for this. Um, and yeah, they didn't really say much on the post match promos. It was kind of
Micah
one of
spoke
the
English to Megan.
Yeah,
That
that's
was the
kinda
main thing.
nice. A few people now are like, "I am going to learn English to speak with Megan." Like, she is very popular
Yeah,
with the roster.
yeah. I think this year a lot of the it's actually really sweet. Because like since foreigners have been coming in more that don't speak Japanese, like you've noticed that a lot of the rosters, like even if it's just like very brief words and shit, whatever. A lot of the roster is kind of learning a little bit of English to talk to like Mariah May and Megan. Like you think about Koguma is just randomly like tweeting in English just to like shit on Tom Lawler, or you know what I mean, like or to say bye to Mariah May. I think it is a cool little thing. May Sarah is doing the same thing, but yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see them being homies and it feeling like a. It feels sweet, you know.
Yeah, until Megan leaves.
Yeah,
Very
there'll
upsetting.
always be another white woman. Don't worry.
That's true,
In
that's true.
Stardom, in Stardom. That sounded really bad out of context. In Stardom, there'll always be another white woman in Stardom.
That's true, that's true. Anyway, we had a Red Goddess block match. It was Momo Watanabe and Natsuko Tora beating Saki Kashima and Syuri. Momo got the win over Saki with a tequila sunrise in 10 minutes.
It was the
Saki
Peach Sunrise.
Oh, well, the website said otherwise, but okay. Um, Saki and Syuri have matching gear. I'm living for it. It is
They
so
also have
good.
a team name. Um, do you know what it is? Have you
I
heard?
don't. I have
It
no
is
idea.
I it is I have a crush on my older sister. Um,
Why?
yeah, it's I think it's like Atane An Ante-kun? I don't know. Something. It's something in Japanese, but yeah, it's basically like I am attracted to my older sister. Um, So that's great. Love that for them. Um, and then Oedo Tai XL is a cool name. But
Yes,
yeah,
I like it.
Shuri
Yeah.
lives for Tag League, by the way.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
just like vibe wise, she always looks like the most happy when she's like doing matching gear with a homie during Tag League.
Well, she did first pop up as a tag wrestler. Her and Cheetah were a thing.
Yeah,
I learned
I mean,
today
she's
they
always
were
been a
known
big
as
force.
the Reiwa beauty pair or something, which is
Mm,
kind of interesting. Yeah, they were
that's
compared to
interesting.
the beauty pair. I only learned that today.
That's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, but I feel like there's been a few teams that have like taken the beauty pair name though. There was like a whole list of them, and I was like, yeah, but they're not the beauty pair. They're just
No,
pale imitations.
nobody
No,
is the beauty pair except
that's
for the
true.
beauty pair.
That's true. I'm gonna be writing about that soon, actually, because they're on the ballot for the Observer Hall of Fame, and I was like, sure, I will write about their case to go in.
As you
And now
should.
I'm just like, I have to write it, which is a pain in the ass. But I feel like
Yeah,
I don't say this to be mean, but if the beauty pair aren't in your Hall of Fame, then it's a sham. So it's like I have to say that they should be in. Like I have to get this
yeah.
information to the people because
It
if
is
they're
hard to
not
kind of
in,
like dive into the pair era, though. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah. Like there's not a lot of numbers at all. Except for like random tidbits about how they drew NFL ratings just for wrestling. So yeah, but it's just like if they're not in, nobody gets in basically. So I kind of have to write about them. But anyway, this match that we're talking about, there was a bit of a Siri Momo exchange that got
Hmm.
that the soul feeling good. I was like, hell yeah, we're so back. And
But
then
we're not.
Momo just
We're not.
threw
We're never
Saki
back.
around. No, no, we're not.
Um, Saki ate a head kick and got the revival, which was like the first time I've ever seen her do like a fighting spirit spot where she's like ate a head kick. She's like, ah, that she got her with the revival, and then she kicked out. But I thought that was dope. That Saki's kind of like progressing into being a actual wrestler, despite being like more tenured than most of the roster. Um, yeah, I like that aspect of it. I did like that Saki just fucking ran away at the beginning of the match. I thought that was
Mhm,
funny. Yeah, that was like a solid match. It wasn't anything like great, but it was fun.
yeah,
Loch Ness
I enjoyed it.
Lockdown or Lowdown or whatever the fuck that move's called from XL is always killer. I love that shit.
Mm, it's good, it's good. It was after this match that the video showed up of Syria being challenged to a UWF rules match by the Scandinavian Hurricane. They're not referring to her as Alice Ink. I don't think that's going to be her name here. It's the Hurricane.
Alice, I'm just gonna call her Alice Ink, homie. It was for
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I think I will too. I
Like it's
hope.
it's like Natsupoi, where like at first I was like, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna call her Natsumi Maki because that just I don't want to call her Natsupoi, and now we're here. So eventually, but
yeah, maybe. I hope she does more than just a one match because I don't like UWF rules matches, and I would like to see Alice do
suck to
more.
suck. I
Okay, sure.
love a good UWF match. Um,
Yeah, a
no,
good one. We don't see a lot of those.
I don't know if you were in Discord when me and Peps were talking about it in the chat. Um, so I tweeted because I was like, "Oh, Shuri's doing another UWF match." I was like, "For the next Legend show, we need to get Bat Yoshinaga in here to wrestle Shuri."
Oh my god.
And I made that joke because obviously Bat Yoshinaga, All Japan Women's Legend, former tag partner Bull
Well,
Nakano.
I don't know if you can call her a legend. I think it's a bit
Call
much.
her Legend. Call her Legend. She'll kill you if you don't. Call her Legend,
That's
okay?
true. That's true.
Um, she also had that one great tag match with Bull Nakano, so don't you forget that against Mariki Yoshida and Kira Hokuto. I think something like that. It's I don't know. Those matches all blend together. But I said that and I made that joke because martial arts champion back in the day, and we couldn't figure out who the Scandinavian Hurricane was, and so Peps was like, "Oh, is it Bat Yoshinaga? Is that who that is?" I was like, There's no way you just said that to me.
Mm.
You think Alice Ink is Bat Yoshinaga? And I was just laughing my ass off for like a while. So because I had to explain to him who Bat Yoshinaga was, and I thought that was very funny. So yeah, um, the returning Bat Yoshinaga versus Shuri. Let's go. Ready for that.
All right. Yeah. Why not? Um. There was nothing really said after that match either. But yeah, I hope Alice does more than just the UWF match. I think her getting some house show matches would be pretty fun. Maybe she joins up with Shuri after the match and like tags with Godzilla or something. That'd be pretty neat. Although
I
Godzilla
could
already
see it.
has enough members, so I don't know. Um, the main event of the show anyway was a Goddess of Stardom tag match. I don't know what block. For some reason, it's not saying what block. It was Hazuki
Blue,
and
blue.
Koguma. Thank you. It was Hazuki and Koguma beating Hanan and Mayu Iwatani, and Koguma pinned Hanan in just under 13 minutes with a diving body press. They very clearly wanted Koguma and Hanan to come out of this looking great, and they both
Hmm.
did. I think it's
Hmm.
interesting that Koguma is winning after the Kyrie thing. Like, I don't know what the end goal is there, but she's won both of the matches now since then. Like, I don't know if there's like a renewed Koguma push
The end
coming.
goal is give FWC back their belts.
Right. But what if the end goal is a Koguma singles run or something? I don't know, maybe that's what's going to happen. I have no idea. It seems like her and Mai Sakurai are being prepped for singles runs. That's all I can say for now.
Which is surely which is fucking 17th week in a row, which is why we need a third belt. Um,
Yes. Well, maybe they'll be Cinderella winners or something.
mm,
White belt Koguma, white belt Mai Sakurai.
I mean, I'm rocking with white belt Goga, but I don't know about the other one. Um,
Of course.
yeah, I thought this match was. I thought that Hazuki, like you said, they really wanted to get Koguma and Hanan over here. I thought, despite that, they definitely could have used a bit more Mayu and Hazuki, like just like giving them an extra minute or two in the ring, because once Suzuki tagged out, like 3 minutes in, it was all Koguma. Like Koguma was just constant legal member. I was like, you
Hmm.
probably could have given it a bit more of a little bit more Hazuki, and that would have made this match a bit better. But I thought this match was great regardless. It was very scary because you look at how injuries have ravaged this card. Um, Hanan and Koguma were like, let's try to hurt each other. Let's let's add one more to the list, homie, because they were just killing each other. They were dropping each other on their heads. Everybody
Yeah.
was holding their neck after the match. I was like, you don't need to do all
Hmm.
this. Nobody's
Hanan
here.
picked out of a
Like,
lot. Like she
yeah,
took a lot. It was a very clear effort to make her look as good as possible in defeat.
yeah. I thought it was great, and I loved that they were going crazy with it. There was some Hazuki hit this. How do you even say it? So Koguma caught Mayu with a she was Ko- Mayu was going for Hurricane Rana, right, for a Super Rana, and Koguma caught her in a Super Powerbomb position, and then Hazuki just ran up and hit this backstabber onto Mayu's neck instead of back, and it was disgusting. And then from there, it just kept being disgusting. It was great. Um, yeah, that was a really good match. Probably
All
not as
right.
good as the Risa Serra as the Prominence versus Suzu May match, but it was very good.
Yeah. It was probably like relatively similar if I had to put a mark on it. But yeah, I think the first one was probably better. Um, that was that show anyway. I thought despite it kind of completely going under the radar and nobody watching it, I thought it was a fine enough show. I had a good time watching it.
The matches weren't
Bookended by
bad.
two strong matches.
The matches weren't bad, but it definitely felt like oh, was that wasn't a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, listen, a fun show is better than a bad show. So
Hmm.
that's really it. Earlier today, then we had the October 18th. I mean, you know this, you know what date it is. The Decade of Queens, Natsu Sumire produced 10th anniversary show. This in Shinjuku Face in front of a sold out 494 people. Um, that's a little bit less than what the Sariism shows get. So it wasn't Sari sold out, but it was sold out anyway. Um, we had Hazuki and Koguma beating Itsuki Aoki and maiden name Sakura Hirota on this one. Hazuki got the win for her team over Hirota. I've seen the pictures. This was everything I could have imagined, and I cannot wait to see it. Because yeah,
Wait,
Hirota was doing the butt poke.
but why is her name Kyusei Sakura Hirota? She's just Sakura Hirota.
I'm not sure. I don't think Stardom got the memo that
Uh,
you say is
They
a special
they
one.
don't know. They don't
No,
know.
they don't
Uh,
know.
there's this picture on Stardom on the Stardom website of Itsuki doing the bear pose, and I don't know why, but her face looks very Chad face. Like she looks like she like just the picture. It's I
Yes.
don't know how to describe
Yes.
it.
It's very it she channeled Inoki. Her
Yeah, like,
chin just
why
grew.
is her chin so, like, pronounced and, like, her just, like
Yeah.
her, like, smolder is, like that's incredible. Like, what is shouts out
Absurd.
Zuki Aoki.
Yeah.
Yoroshiku
But yeah,
onegaishimasu. You know what it is.
there was a lot of finger poking by Hirota.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait to see that. Um, in the Y shirt battle royal, Chi-Chi got the win over Waka Tsukiyama in 17 and a half minutes. This is Chi-Chi's first ever win in pro wrestling. Some wrestlers get a big build up to their first win and they like get a win in their home promotion over a cool wrestler. Chi-Chi, on the other hand, she got to win a white shirt battle royal. So yeah. There's a photo here of Zones and Saida. It looks
Oh,
like
yeah,
they're having a pose off.
Zones, Saya and Shan Yoda had, like, a segment of it I
Yeah.
saw pictures of.
This looks like the single most cracked match I've ever seen. Like, there's white dust in the air around Ram Kai Chow. Like, uh, yeah. This looks like it's really funny, but also the white shirt thing is very, oh no.
Yeah, but,
So, I might eventually watch this if it's funny, and I
I'm
will
excited to
watch
watch
it.
this.
Yeah, I will not be watching it in public. Nobody
Well,
will
no.
see that. Like, I wouldn't
Uh,
do that to myself.
Saya looking jacked as always, by the way.
Yes.
Like
Dude, her
that
zones are fucking built. Holy shit.
because they did that pose off, like, last year, right?
Yeah.
Saya is wearing the same outfit. She has gotten so much bigger.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even notice it, but this chick is jacked. Like, holy shit. Um, random Ram Kai Chow reference. So the insiders, which are the guys that got fired from WWE, they have been doing a TW save of 2004, and Brennan Williams or Mace or Mace, however you call him, booked New Jack in a dancing contest with an 8-year-old Ram Kai Chow, and I just think that's what TW is all about. That's all I wanted to say
Yeah,
is
honestly.
because you mentioned Ram Kai Chow, and I was just like, oh yeah,
Well, she
what's
was in
something
the
funny?
match. So, yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
here, but no, I just thought that was a funny thing that I would bring up. Shouts out Brendan Williams.
All right. The match after that then was the reveal of X. It was Natsuko Tora taking on Veni. And this ended in just under 15 minutes with a double countout. This was basically a 2-on-1 match with Momo and Natsuko beating on Veni. And then Veni fought back. So we went from Utami versus Veni to an Uedo Tai heel shenanigans match. And I do not think there has been a bigger drop in quality ever.
Yeah,
So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But
in 1430, they couldn't have just waited it out.
yeah, I like and Momo Watanabe was right there. Would you not do Momo versus Veni? Is that not easier for the politics?
Momo's not a wrestler anymore.
That's true. Yeah, she's just
She's a
a
heel
baseball
wrestler.
player. She's a
Yeah.
baseball player. Yeah, I don't know.
A friend of mine did mention this morning that, like, I think it's safe to say at this point the fall off, like the allowed fall off of Momotsnabe is kind of disgusting. Um, just in terms of, like, missing out
I
on
can't even
the best
defend it
wrestler in the world.
anymore. I used to be
You know,
like, it's fine. Her time will come, and I'm like, will it? Maybe it
like,
will,
yeah,
but it
I
should be now.
one day if it does come, hey, I'll eat crow and I'll be happy about it, obviously. But, like, this girl is one of the greatest wrestlers, like, just in the world, and she just
Yeah.
doesn't wrestle for real most of the time.
It's pretty sad, but you know what? We just have to take what we get and wait. But yeah, she should have. I feel like she should have faced Venny. I don't really understand why you got Natsuko there. It's a political nightmare. Like you went from one
Yeah.
political nightmare to another, because
But at least
clearly,
one of them was gonna be fun, you know what I mean?
yeah, like one was a dream match, and the other is Natsuko Tora heel shenanigans. So I don't know, but yeah, I'm not excited to see that, but I'm sure it will age better than I'm thinking. Um, the main event anyway was Saki Akai, Takumi Iroha, and Azumi beating Kaho Kobayashi, Rini Yamashita, and Natsu Sumire in just under 9 minutes when Takumi pinned Natsu with a running three. So yeah, I'm sure
10-year
that was
club here.
fun. Yeah. So
Azumi whipped Natsu with her whip.
ah,
Uh, that's a picture here. They start
throwback.
crying. Everybody started crying.
This is the most indie match I've ever seen.
I
I
love it.
cannot lie
I
to you.
love it.
But
It's
yeah,
indie-rific, but like in a good way.
yeah. And hey, Takumi won, so I can't really be too upset. And
Yeah.
everybody
She
got
came
to
back
talk.
from America and was like, okay, now who am I pinning?
Yeah, why not? Did she? Did she? Oh, she retained the belt as well, didn't she? She beat Masha
Yeah, I'm
on
pretty
West Coast
sure.
Pro. Yeah, so good for her. Um, anyway, we have some stuff to preview. I don't know how much to preview.
There's a
Um,
big post-match thing, but I doubt
it's
anyone
it's a lot
cares.
of like, hey, Natsu was like thankful to Stardom and stuff for helping her get to where she is, and Saki Kai talked about how she's retiring and she's happy she got to wrestle everybody. Takumi talked about how she was injured for her anniversary, so she was happy to wrestle on this one. Just everybody kind of being chill. Um, Now there's two
Um,
shows in the coming week. One of them is tomorrow, so it'll happen by the time this goes up. So I don't think there's any real reason to discuss it, but we can just run through
I
because
mean,
it's
it looks like a
important.
great card.
Yeah, so it's on the 19th, as you know. It is a tag league show in Cork and Hall. Currently, only the front row is sold out. So if Stardom pulls another bad number, people are going to start talking about how his company is dead. People love to doom and gloom about Stardom lately. So
They love doom and gloom about everything, to be fair.
that's true. That's true. But I feel like, especially Stardom, if this is a bad number, people are gonna say, "Oh, it's dead. The company's dead." So I look forward to that. Anyway, we have an opener of Lady C and Miyu Amasaki versus Natsuko Tora and Momo Watanabe. Obviously, the team in Tag League is going to beat the team that is not in Tag League. So
Her, these poor girls.
yeah. We have a four-way match: Saori Ano versus Mina Shirakawa versus Ami Sourei versus Ruaka. So yeah, sure. Um, we have
Anu over Ruaka?
yeah. I don't see a need to give predictions. This show will have happened. We will just age badly.
Yeah, but that's usually what happens. Who cares?
That's true. The match after is a Blue Goddess block match. It is FWC versus Mirai and Mai Sakurai. So a real
Hmm.
indication of just how hard they're pushing Mai Sakurai here.
Yeah, I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would be too.
I did make a spreadsheet, everybody. I made a spreadsheet for this for this tournament for some reason. Um, I do have Azuki and Koguma winning here, but you never know.
All
You
right.
never know.
Yeah. The match after that is a Blue Goddess block match. It is Mayu Iwatani and Hanan, also known as Eye Contact, versus Micah and Megan Bain, also known as Divine Kingdom. And yes, the hosses should absolutely throw the baby faces around here.
Yes, probably. Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about because the Gas Storm tournament doesn't really matter, but I think the most like feasible thing for this tournament is kind of doing what they did with what New Japan did with Okada and Jeff Cobb a few years ago, where they just beat everybody and then they come down to each other, and whoever wins that match is just like it's a runaway. Because Suzuki and Koguma and Divine Kingdom are last day, so
Mm,
I have a feeling those two teams either like maybe there'll be like a draw, like maybe FWC draws with someone or gets an upset loss somewhere. Maybe Micah and Megan, same thing, might draw with someone or get an upset loss once. But other than that, I kind of see it being a shootout at the end between those two teams because I can't see either of them losing a lot for this tournament.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, the match after that is a Red Goddess block match. It is Siri and Saki Kashima. They have the crazy name, as you said, Concave, Anicon, Convex, which is
Anikon,
fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah. And they take
Anikon
on
means the that, yeah.
yes, and they take on Saida and Hanako. I mean, I imagine Siri might beat somebody here just to keep herself looking good.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ida and Hanako losing to Mina and Waka told me that they're going winless in this tournament. Um,
All right.
So that's probably where we're going with it. I mean, I would love to see an Ida upset over Sakakashima, but I just don't really think that's happening.
Okay. The main event then is a pretty high profile match. It is Suzuki and Meisera versus Julia and Tekla. So Mafia Bella get off the board here in the tournament. They haven't wrestled yet. So um,
This,
I feel like Tekla either pins Meisera to set up a title match or she just loses.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
I'd
right.
probably have Julian Tekla over here,
Mm,
um,
that's
because
fair.
they are going to give up that Risa Sera and Kurumi match. Like Julian Tekla are going to lose that,
Hmm.
because Tekla.
Yeah.
Um, so I think they kind of need one of these bigger matches to win, and those
Um. Yeah.
three are
Why
like
not?
the only real teams in this tournament, in this side of the tournament.
That's true. Well.
Not literally, Natsuko and Momo could do well, but like the only the only final potentials are Julia Tekla, Suzume, and Risa and Kurumi to me.
Yeah.
Um, so of those three, I think Julia and Tekla need a win because I think they're going to lose to Risa and Kurumi.
All right. That's fair. There is the fan meetings this weekend, so there's no show on the Saturday because they're going to be doing back-to-back autograph sessions and stuff. So the next show is on Sunday, and it is on the Edion Osaka Arena #2.
Oh my god!
Um, what?
Oh my god! Do you
What?
see the first match?
Like the opener or?
The opener.
Oh my goodness!
It's been 2 weeks.
Let's go! Let's go!
This
It
is it. This is
is.
incredible.
It is on the 22nd of October. Daughters of Stardom Tag League in Osaka, Edion Osaka Arena #2. The series continues. The rivalry is renewed. Lady C versus Rocka. Let's
How do
get it.
they do this so often? Like it's getting to the point where it's like I just I'm amazed, man. I'm amazed.
You can keep your Tanahashi Okada. I have Lady C
Their
Rocka.
last match was the
I have Lady
29th of
C
last month. We're
Rocka.
getting to the point where this is a monthly match.
As it
This is a
should.
monthly
As
match.
it should. So, Rocka's winning. Because yeah, that's usually how
She
that
doesn't
goes.
really lose these, yeah.
No.
I mean, Lady
Um,
C is in the tournament though. Maybe they want to give her a
that's
little
true.
something, something. But
We
I think Ruaka probably wins.
yeah, probably. We have Micah and Megan Bain in non-tournament action against Ami Sourei and Saki Kashima. Megan Bain is going to win again, as she
Yeah.
does. Um, we have a Blue Goddess block match. It is FWC versus O2 Lion.
You know, if O2 Line wasn't starting their tournament with this match, I would say this is like upset potential or like draw potential. But
Probably still is. You probably. I mean, this is one of the few
yeah,
times FWC could drop.
that's what I'm thinking is that's like at first I thought, oh, maybe because last year I remember they had a pretty like important match, like not important, but I think it like they all talked about how it was important to them. So I could see Azumi kind of getting a win over Koguma or even Hazuki at this point. And just or pushing a draw. You know, they could do like kind of bits and do like a double count out like they FWC can do sometimes because they do comedy occasionally.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think this is one of those cases where you could see a drop in points for
All
FWC.
right. Okay. We have another Blue Goddess block match. It is Mayu Iwatani and Hanan of Eye Contact versus Mirai and Mai Sakurai. Um, so again, this is another task of just how much they are pushing Mai Sakurai because a Hanan loss is a very easy one here. But they could also just have Mayu get a win because her team will have to win eventually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mayu and Hanan are kind of. I don't know. It depends on if Tam and Yuna are around.
Mm,
Because I feel like Tam and Yuna were kind of set to have a pretty weak tournament, honestly. Because I think
yeah.
Yuna is one of the lowest ranking wrestlers in the company. Uh, that even like other people can upset her in a way.
Yeah.
So outside of that, and if they lose this match, it's kind of rough going because they'll have 2 wins that they can get really,
Mm,
and that's not very good.
not at all. And I think Hanan is a bit better than that.
I think Mayu and Hanan should win this match.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? But they do like
Well,
their royalty, their whatever the fuck
that's true.
she is.
That's true. We then have Red Goddess block match. It is Suzuki and Mei Seira versus Saya Ida and Hanako. I would expect Crazy Star to get the win there.
Yes. You know what's something that I didn't even think about?
What?
Risa Fella and Risa Sarah are meeting for the first time since Hanako became Risa, not Risa Fella.
Oh yeah, true.
Not this weekend, but in this tournament because they're in the same block.
What a collision, really. I hope
Yeah.
Hanako does Risa Seira moves. This is a
I
throwback.
hope they just have a standoff. Like that's all I want is like for them to like vaguely acknowledge that they know each other. Like
Yeah,
that's what I want from these matches, from like those like little like, oh, we used to know each other, homie, type of things.
I mean, why not? The main event then is a Red Goddess block match. It is Julia and Tekla versus Natsuko Tora and Momo Watanabe. If Julia and Tekla are going to get points, it will be in a match like this because Julia can beat both, basically.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
is Julia, after all. All
Natsuko
right.
and Momo probably don't break even.
Um, I don't know, to be honest. It just depends on how they
Of
feel.
6 matches, I think they have 2 safe wins. Kind of. They already
Yeah,
have 1 win. They have maybe 2 more safe wins. So yeah, I guess they will hit even. Um, then again, they could get upset by like a Mina and a Waka because I think Mina could
yeah.
probably beat Momo.
I don't know. I think you're thinking too much about Tag
About the
League,
Gas League. Yeah.
especially because last year I remember the booking was very forehead. Like everybody who was good just won, and there was like
Yeah,
2 upsets in the entire tournament, like at most. So I think you're just going to keep
yeah,
Tag League really simple.
and Mina and Waka already won their match. So yeah, I think I'm thinking too much.
Yeah. So yeah, that's everything from us.
Mm.
We said Tag League would give us time to discuss things, and I think we did that. We got to dive into everything we wanted. So next week we will be back to review whatever is up from this week, and we will preview the Halloween show as best as we can for a show that likely won't matter, and the next Tag League show, which is in Shizuoka. So that should tell you how great that'll be. Yeah,
Uh oh.
we are so back
Oh,
on it,
Tam's set to be
honestly.
back, so they have Tam supposed to be back on that show.
Yeah, I think we'll know soon whether she's in Tag League or not. I think they're gonna have to make
Yeah.
that decision soon. So yeah, I think we'll know probably by next week what the story is there.
You know,
So
a lot of people have been talking about how I mention Kingdom Hearts every week. I'm gonna mention it again. I've actually, instead of playing the games because they didn't remaster 358 Days Over 2, um, which if you have never played Kingdom Hearts, that's a fucking crazy name, I know. But
yes.
uh, they didn't remaster it, so I've been having to read the manga. Uh,
Oh,
of the game because they made a manga out of it. And I think it's a great manga. It is phenomenal. It's very fun to read. Uh, but that also prevents me from moving forward in the story and like actually playing the video game. So I'm like itching. I'm itching to get to Kingdom Hearts 2, but I'm like, I want to finish the story. I've got to finish the story. And that's where I'm at right now in Kingdom
I
Hearts,
see.
in case anybody's
Okay.
wondering. Much like Cody Rhodes.
The regular Kingdom Hearts updates. It's our newest bit
Yeah.
because we dropped all the other bits because we forgot them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also just don't have the money to buy cookies no more. You know what I mean? I was
that's
staying
fair.
stocked with cookies back in the day. I ain't
Everything's
balling like
just
that
too
no more.
expensive now.
Real, you're
It's
right.
crazy. Yeah. Like I go outside and it's like that'll be a fiver, and I'm like, but like there aren't many fivers to go around, please. So yeah, it's getting rough out here. We're gonna have to make a Patreon soon just to like have cookies and monsters.
Yeah,
It's crazy. But anyway,
I miss my Cookie Monster era.
yeah, it was something. Um, that is that for this show. We'll be back next week, as I say. And yeah, with that, it's time to close the show. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Show.
Yo.